Well, thank you so much for coming out on a walk with me today.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I'd love to hear more about what you're interested in and what you're doing here at Wake Forest.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a professor of psychology, and my main focus of research is in how people use positive emotions to regulate their stressors. When I was in college, I knew I wanted to do something with emotions because you can approach emotions from all sorts of different angles, right? But I didn't know what kind of thing I wanted to do. And I entered grad school September of 2001. 11 days into my graduate school career, 9/11 happens. My advisor comes to me and says, we need to understand how people are dealing with this tragedy. And what we found was that it was people's positive emotions that helped keep them resilient. It wasn't the absence of negative, it was the presence of positive.
Okay.
And from that moment on, I was hooked on knowing how we can use the good to sort of combat the bad.
One of the most stressful things that I think many of us have most recently navigated through is COVID.
So COVID was a unique stressor. It took away people from us. And we normally regulate our stresses by coping with others, by having social support and talking with others and stuff like that. And it took that away. So I saw this need at the beginning for people looking for answers on how to cope with something fairly unique. So let me just jump on YouTube and I'll try like a video series where in each video I explain some different topic related to resilience and positive emotions, and people did what they always do, which is they started rebounding, they started recovering.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what's true is that those YouTube videos and your publications are all out there for society to benefit from.
That's the hope, right?
Right.
That's the hope, because what we do, if you think of what we do as important, if you think about the research as something that really has a chance of improving people's lives, it should be something that you want to share. And of course we share it with other academics. But when you go out into the community, like I've done several times with this seminar series that I do, when you go out into community and talk to them about your research, it's just fascination and wonder. And you can see lights going on in their minds about this may be something that could help me. This may be something that could help a loved one.
So you do this amazing research.
Thank you.
Right? But, why at Wake Forest?
So this is what's fun about research, is not just how many publications you can get out there and how many awards you can win, but who you're doing it with. And my favorite thing to do is research with my students. I've been fortunate enough to publish papers with a lot of them. So then you have to find a university that supports that, right? And for better or worse, not a lot to do. Some are just teaching, but it's basically teaching stuff that's already been done. Wake Forest, you get this beautiful blend of the two, right? Really being able to do high-level research by bringing along the students with you.
That's the teacher scholar,
that is the
right?
teacher
That's
scholar,
the teacher scholar model. It's beautiful to hear you embrace that and act on it.
When I'm thinking about new ideas, Wake Forest has been really good about promoting interdisciplinary communities where you get to talk with people from all over the university.
Right.
So that's helped a lot of my ideas grow from when they're starting to become a little, insular to really expanding them into something that's creative and interesting. When you have a department as supportive and cohesive as mine is, you can't help but do good stuff.
Right.
Because they want you to do good stuff, and they're going to make sure that you have everything you need to do it.
Is there one story in particular that sticks out of a student that you think really, benefited from this teacher-scholar environment?
There was a student who was a superstar student in undergraduate, right? And she was 4.0, all that stuff. And I remember the third month that we were there, I saw her sleeping out on the couch in the lobby.
Right.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, go home. And it came to be that she was basically working too hard. She's trying to do things like she did as an undergrad, which weren't working because we're demand more. And what I love about what happened next is I kind of taught her how to be efficient, taught her how to use her skills. She became one of the best students I've ever had. And then she went to a graduate school and she got a clinical PhD, which is super hard to get.
Right.
She's publishing all this research all over the place. And it sort of started from this sort of moment where it was taking what she could do and making it what she does. And I just
Right.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
But what I hear that you did is you really saw her.
Right.
And you really, invested in mentoring her and thinking about where she was at
100%.
in her own personal development. So thank you
Yeah, my pleasure.
for that.
It's again, it's rewarding for me too. It's a little bit of a selfish thing, right? Because seeing them succeed helps not only them, but it helps me, right? It helps me do better work. As long as when they're doing better, I'm doing better, and so it's an easy thing to really get behind.
Right. Both in the classroom and in
100%.
the activities you're doing collaboratively to help discover how positive emotions.
That's exactly.
I've got it. How positive emotions help us deal with stress.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for being at Wake Forest.
I appreciate
I
it.
love hearing about
like being
how you decided on your research focus and your teaching focus and really your enthusiasm for bringing the two together.
Yeah, my pleasure.